Hey, Andrew. Resellers Highway. Good morning. I think the video's a little lacking for me, but whatever. You guys can hear me okay? Kind of real time? Like right now, I'm talking. Nice. Hello. Jenny, how are you? Awesome. And let's kind of mess this up a little bit more sideways there. Yes. Awesome. Right on. Get some of this good stuff in here. Good morning, Rebecca. Mark, what's up, buddy? Awesome. Yes, rock. It's cool. Enable slow mode. I'm gonna leave slow mode fine. Rebecca Dixon, good morning. Jen Grant, awesome. I am eating my breakfast. I'm a fat blogger, so I need it. Michigan, Chris. This is awesome. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Let's see. Please use keywords 4 seconds or less. Keyframes are being sent off and which will cause buffering. The current keyframe in this section. Let's see. Okay. So you guys got me real time, shaking my hands right now. We're all good. Awesome. I'm finally kind of figuring out all of this crazy stuff here with the YouTube stream. Um, good. How are y'all this morning? Awesome. Good stuff. Any thoughts of adding some Dogman stories? I'm not really much into the. It's nothing. Not trying to offend anybody with their Dogman stuff, Andrew. But I'm just, I'm really into more of the Sasquatch kind of Bigfoot stuff, just because of my own experiences and that. Do I want to, kind of branch out into the Dogman thing? Not really. I don't think. At least not right now. Kind of just wanted to kind of hang on and hang out with this subject, if that's okay. I totally enjoy it. It's not that I'm an unbeliever of it or anything like that. Who knows? I was really, I always knew about Bigfoot up here in the Pacific Northwest, but it wasn't until I was a teenager, and then in my adulthood, that I really had a good idea that they existed from my own experiences. So, but yeah. Good morning. Love your stories. You rock. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. That's awesome. You guys rock even more. So there you go. Um, well, morning all from snowy PA. Hey. Gotta be in the snow there. Hey, if you guys have any questions, I love answering them and whatnot. Don't forget, if you get over to PacWest Bigfoot and sign on up, I've got the Haunted Valley. It's a short little read from William Jevning, and I got it autographed, and I really like William a lot. I actually met William while he was doing the Sasquatch radio thing. It was you know, he ended up moving on to do his own thing, and then I kind of helped him out with his website and blog and whatnot, and that's what I do professionally. So, and it was just really interesting. And the next thing you know, we just got to be friends, and he has shared a lot of information with me, and so I'm feeling a whole lot more educated on the subject itself. Not to mention, all of us out here kind of self-educating ourselves on this, so, pretty awesome. We don't have any Bigfoots here in Finland. No one in Canada ever. Closest thing we have is Yetis in Russia. Yeah, Yetis. Yeah, Yep, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yetis. As a matter of fact, personally, as a creationist standpoint, that whole land bridge between Alaska and Russia, I think that's where kind of the Yetis came from. I think there was kind of a movement, like people moved around, how they dispersed all of a sudden from the Middle East around a place called Shinar, which was basically where the Tower of Babel was. And people kind of dispersed, and also, I believe these things as well dispersed and made a move. So, just interesting thoughts. We did have a Bigfoot sighting here in North Dakota recently. Hey, that's awesome, Andrew. Was it yours or somebody else's? Good work, buddy. Thank you, Justin. Do you ever get stories from around the Tennessee area? I do from time to time. Most of the stories that I actually put here on the web are from the PacWest, but I do interviews from anybody around North America in general, Canada, U.S., whatever. That is awesome. I will do interviews with anybody anywhere. That's great. And if I don't catch your questions on here, please just keep asking. If I see it, I see it. If I don't get to your question, though, trust me, it's not me being rude. It is just me. It's just me missing it. I'm blind here. Let's see here. Maybe just hide better there. Haha. Bigfoot is any relation to missing 411? Yes, I do actually. I am really actually a believer of that, Chris. Personally speaking, maybe not in all situations, maybe not in most situations, but a small percentage at least. I do believe that that is completely not only possible but most likely true. I'd bet on it in Vegas. Um, let's see. There's a rumor in Locust Grove unless someone has shot and killed a Bigfoot. Um, I don't know. I haven't heard anything like that. Shooting and killing a Bigfoot. I mean, maybe that's something that we can kind of like talk about today a little bit, just for the fun of it. Your guys' thoughts on kill, no kill. I think most of us are probably, and I'm gonna guess, no kill unless, of course, you are in danger. I think we can get enough, and we have plenty of evidence right now that can suggest that most likely there is something out here. And for those of you who have actually had visuals and whatnot, of course you know for a fact. Um, I mean, even though we still have to go on a certain amount of faith, you know what? Villagers kept telling us about Billy Apes, so just, there you go. Natives tell us about Bigfoot, and people see it. Uh, let's see here. No, someone else. They tracked him for several miles before he went up into the hills. Hmm. That's the one in Tennessee? Investigations are awesome. Yeah, I love his. David Paulides. His whole. I read the book. I mean, it was good. I liked it. So take it for that. I love the book. It was great. Good stuff. Do you think he hit your house in the middle of the night? Yeah. Let's see. Something like yeah. What do Bigfoot do with people they take? Um, we don't know because they never came back. At least everybody except for Alsman, I guess. Personally speaking, I'm just gonna let you guys know. I really do believe these things are apex predators. I do. I don't think it's all that healthy situation to be taken by one. I just don't. So that's my own take. I really believe in the physical part of this. I do believe that they are basically they're not just a predator, but I do believe that they are, I guess, a part of the primate family. And yet that does make them a predator in a way. So, is there a cover up? To kill, just satisfy our curiosity would be a sad thing. No kill. Yeah, me too, resellers. I'm into the no kill thing. Um, even capture. I mean, you look at great white sharks. You capture a great white shark and you keep it in a tank. Thing doesn't last 5 days. Um, and as much as I hate sharks, trust me, I've been surfing. As much as I hate sharks, I'll tell you this: just to even capture something like that and keep it locked up in some big, huge cage of some kind just seems a little. I'm just very reluctant about that as well. Do you think the government is covering up Bigfoot? Um, the government pretty much covers up everything because the government only does one thing good, and that is stupid stuff. So I hope you all laugh at that one. The only thing that the government can do correctly is make mistakes, and they cover it all up all the time. Do they cover up something like this? I think they do, and I think one of the reasons is because it would cut down on income through basically tourism. It really just comes down to money. If you really think about politics, anyways, it all comes down to money. How much money can I get for my reelection? How much money can we get for this particular, swimming pool endeavor and whatnot? It really just comes down to money. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do. If it was to keep us safe, well, they would tell us about it. Your food and you make them mad. I like that one. That should be a quote. Could you justify a government cover up to preserve and shield the species? No, I couldn't. I could not, unless, of course, it has anything to do with. I understand covert operations as far as one nation against another nation and you're having problems, but to cover up something like that just for its own safety, no. We are the government. It is our government. We're the boss. So I need to know, and I should know. So no, I would not justify a government cover up of Bigfoot. There's no way. I don't think the lumber industry is involved. More likely the Bigfoot. I don't think lumber industry is involved either. The only thing I think that the lumber industry is involved as much as that, as far as that is concerned, is just finding cool tracks, giving us great eyewitness accounts and experiences. I really don't think the lumber companies have anything to do with that. Besides, there really isn't much of lumber companies anymore. They cut the logs down, they bring them out, and they're basically toothpicks today, and then they shove them out on some ship that actually is a ship to Japan that has a lumber mill built on it. So I know my dad he lost his job here in the Pacific Northwest because government once again wanted money. It cut out the middleman and started lumbering stuff on ship on the way there. So that's how that stuff works. I don't think it's a lumber company. No. I've seen any of these vids on crypto reality. No, no, I have not. When did the stream start? I didn't know you did these. I started last week for the fun of it for just a few, and this week I'm going to start. This one I figured out how the video connection works. I had to use a separate piece of software here to do that, but it's pretty awesome. It's pretty fun. I use the OBS software if you guys want to know. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I got to figure out how to make the stream work a little bit faster. It looks like my frequency is the current keyframe 8.4 seconds, so I have to make that faster. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I got to figure out what that is. So I'm kind of learning here as well as we go. John Barfield, that's interesting. Gosh, you ever think about sitting down for an interview with me? I'd love to hear it. That'd be awesome. In Pennsylvania, I should get my name out there so I can start getting some stories to follow up on and investigate. Here's the thing. This all started out for me, and it still continues for me because I just love the subject matter. It's fun, it's interesting. I really love and enjoy taking some of these encounters, creating backstories to them. Like the Native Americans of old, and I've said this before, creating these like really awesome storylines to these real life kind of encounters and stuff, and I think it's a great idea. I did this because I also had the knowledge of basic web design and stuff like that out here. I do teach people how to set up their own web presence online. It's cheap, but it does cost a little. So if you ever want to do that, you just let me know, and then I help you build that out. And you could have a really nice. I do that for some of William Jevning's group guys around the country. I go out there, set up their websites and their blogs, their social media, and get them ready, and then they go out there and start doing their investigations and log all that content into their website and whatnot. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. Do you feel Bigfoot could be in the UK? I do. I don't see why not. You know, there's this thing out here, and now it's the one thing that I do disagree with Mr. Jevning on, and I love Will, trust me. I don't believe in like a whole bunch of different species. I believe that there might be, two or three types at best. Yeti, Bigfoot, and skunk ape. Those are kind of what I think is out there. If people are into the dogman thing, I think it would be a total separate thing. I don't know if that would be anything to some sort of great ape. I think it'd be completely different, personally speaking. But in the end, could they be out there? Why not? Why not? We've heard of things out there. So, and Burke, fourth wall. Oh, nice. Hey, Mark. Manchester. Too many stories. They're close by. I think they are reasonable for my kidney bleed. Kidney bleed. Reasonable for my kidney bleed or responsible for your kidney bleed? Any experiences at all in Berks County? I think you're talking to somebody else. Your jaws, no answers. By the way, awesome coffee mug here from William Jevney. It was awesome. Let's see here. Don't like haggis. Sorry, that was funny. Let me see. I'm gonna scroll back up here real quick, see if I missed any questions or anything. I hope you guys like this, just kind of bantering back and forth. You guys can banter among yourselves. I'll answer questions from time to time. If you guys have any questions about what's going on with PacWest, things I might be doing, or actually I have a couple more encounter stories that are coming out here pretty soon. One of them came firsthand. The other one is secondhand. The first-hand one comes from a lady who was living up in Washington at the time. She's an artist. She was living out near or in Yakult, Washington. And I have another one that's second-hand, but it was a really cool encounter, and so I had to create the backstory to it, but the encounter part was rather cool, so it was pretty awesome. Is aware of threat humans pose. I think pretty much every creature is aware of that. As a matter of fact, coming from that creationist standpoint, which seems to fit the mold of science, I've learned in what I understood is that there was a natural fear put into uh, um, animals of people, of human beings, and we've noticed that. Now, of course, there is going to be the occasional mountain lion attack, shark attack. Sharks. They just happen. It's what happens. But if you ever notice though, whenever that one guy with the spear is like swinging around with sharks, they come in and they're very curious, but you don't ever see them getting like all of a sudden crazy like they would if they just see a shadow and shoot up to get it. So, um, do I think that they know that we pose a risk? Yes, I do, and I think that's probably and possibly why they are so, I guess, so good at they're so stealthy. So, what would you say is a hotbed for the most Bigfoot sightings? Well, it's really funny that everybody sits there and says that you know, uh, Texas is the big place for Bigfoot. I never heard of hardly any Bigfoot Texas stuff until the last decade when YouTube and his membership programs came out. I think the hotbed has always been a few places here in the U.S. And I think the biggest hotbed has always been the Pacific Northwest. And then you've got the Northeast section of the country and across Canada. Is there some hotbeds here and there throughout the South? I think with the skunk ape there is. So yeah, there's some hotbeds, and I really think the Pacific Northwest and Northeast, and then several sections down south around Texas, all the way back to Georgia and up to Oklahoma and stuff. I think you can find hotbeds just about anywhere. In the U.S. I have a hard time with deserts and Bigfoot. I just don't know how a hairy creature like that is going to really live out there. It's just so sweltering. It doesn't. Everything. You ever notice how all creatures or animals seem to be fitted to their environment? Yeah. Well, think about that first. But I always tell people, think about that first before we start saying, "Oh my gosh, there's Bigfoot in the Mojave Desert." We can say there is, but it doesn't make it true. So Utah, another place, because Utah, I mean, it's mountainous. There's lots of uh, food, lots of water, it's just a good place. It's a great place. PacWest, yeah, I mean Humboldt County, Brown Dwarf is like on it like hotcakes right now. You got anywhere that is, and I totally believe this. British Columbia down through Northern California is pretty much one big fat hotbed of Bigfoot. It just has been, and the encounters here. But you also, Brown Dwarf, you got to remember that the Northeast was and is still, I think, a hotbed. It may not be a hotbed like it was once, and I think that's because that's where most of the population of the United States is basically on the East Coast. And I think that they've been pushed up through Canada and stuff like that. I think they moved and they started coming over here, and this is where we ended up having more and more sightings throughout the Pacific Northwest and throughout Canada. Less population. Any recent encounters in MA? What do you think Bigfoot lifespan is? Bigfoot lifespan. I've never thought about that. Tell you the truth, resellers. I don't. I don't know. I don't even have an answer for that. Um, people say they get old and wrinkly faced. That here's one thing I will tell you. We found Bigfoot prints, me and my mom, that Christmas, that week before Christmas, or 2 weeks before Christmas, we get to get a Christmas tree. And 20 years later, about 2 or 3 miles, I guess you would say southeast of that area, maybe 3 miles, which isn't far, of course. I had an encounter again, an experience. So could have been the same one. Could have been a habituation site, possibly, and that would be a 20-year-old, probably older, because those were pretty big footprints that we found 20 years earlier. Appalachian Mountain Range, yeah, another good place. But you gotta start thinking about it. I mean, think about it. Water, food, and just the environment. I no longer surf in the Northwest. It's too creepy. I don't blame you. I surfed here for a while. It's creepy water. It's just creepy water. Spends more than 99% of their time where we spend less than 1% of ours, I think. It's funny that we have no mention of Bigfoot, but we do have dogman-like creatures mentioned in old folklore. This does get back several hundreds of years. Well, you got to remember that things like, the Wolfman and things like that from the different cultures in Northern Europe and stuff like that have been around for probably centuries. So, been around for a long time. So who knows? It could have been something that existed for a long time, maybe doesn't today, or maybe it still does. Maybe it too moved on as people became more and more populated in certain regions. Maybe it made a move too. I think the lifespan is comparable to ours. If I had to guess, Mark, that'd be my best guess. I might say something maybe 25 years, maybe up to 20, 25 years, maybe longer than ours. But I wouldn't go past that probably, just as my own guess. That's just an opinion. Second encounter was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Yeah, there's a interview with Mark on the in the videos, guys, and also I interviewed Cindy yesterday from New Hampshire. Who had a great awesome little encounter face to face. I mean, encounter. This thing was like 20 feet away. She was also interviewed and was featured, her and her husband, on the Finding Bigfoot series in New Hampshire. So she's on here. So it was pretty awesome. Everybody needs to check out Bob Gimlin's channel. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, good stuff. Um, do you think trolls could have been the Nordic Bigfoot? You know what? Here's the deal with the troll thing. I totally believe that this whole troll thing is totally Bigfoot. Of course, it's spun out of control like everything else, but I really totally believe that it's a Bigfoot thing. Goblins, trolls. We have things in here in the Pacific Northwest like a Troll Creek or something like that. There's just little names that have to do with trolls. I'm telling you, we name places usually because of some sort of experience or something we believe about the area. It's kind of like Skookum Meadows. What does Skookum mean? Look it up and you'd be surprised. And all of a sudden you start figuring out, oh wow, that might be a pretty interesting place to go and do some Bigfooting. So yeah, or maybe not after all. So, I do believe that the trolls are really just another word for Bigfoot, personally. Do you think they may be trying to reclaim their territory? I don't know if that's directed at me, if it's just an in general question. I wouldn't think so. Best Sasquatch coffee flavor? Tree knock. If you like the really dark roast, Skookum is awesome. But my favorite is kind of like a medium roast. It's really awesome, called Tree Knock from the Sasquatch Coffee Company. And there you are. DB Cooper, they finally found you. Um, I was wondering the same. Well, I'd like to talk about a few things. Hey, John, I would really like you to email me, PacWestBigfoot at gmail.com, PacWestBigfoot at gmail.com. I'd really like to set up a time next week, maybe talk for a few, and then hopefully do an interview. That'd be great. I'd really like to do that. Tree Knock? Nice. Yeah, it really is a great coffee. It's a great blend. As a matter of fact, it's Gunner who runs Monster X Radio that owns that little coffee company. He runs it out of the back of a store basically that he owns up in Garibaldi, Oregon, on the coast. So I was just watching your morning interview with Cindy and noticed you were up and live, so I had to join in. Hey, Johnny, thanks, man. Yeah, just hanging out. I wanted to start doing this on Friday mornings just for the fun of it. Hang out for about a half hour or 45 minutes with you guys and just kind of keep you caught up to what's going on with PacWest, what I'm doing. This summer, I'm going to probably get out a few times or so with my cousin. Just moved here. He retired from the Army. He did about 4 or 5 tours through Afghanistan. He actually led a group of guys that used to go through the mountains there and go into caves, kill the enemy, and then leave. They'd be gone sometimes up to 30 days at a time, and then come back to their base camp. So he really knows every just about all that stuff. So build a wall to protect Bigfoot. We can't build a wall to protect ourselves. Um, Basically, I'm going to be getting out there from time to time. And here's the thing: I was going to get out here around the Myrtle Creek area near where I'm from because the Cow Creek Indians, that tribe has a very long history of Bigfoot up here, and I've got some people down in Myrtle Creek that have heard screams, like my father-in-law from a mountainside, and I've got a gentleman down there that actually has some footprints. He's got lots of pictures of tree breaks, X's made out, and he has heard grunts and screams and whatnot. And so he wants to take me down there. So we're gonna head out there and do a little stuff, some stuff this summer. So really enjoy your show. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Tammy. Thank you. Awesome. You rock. So, let's see. It is a short story on Cryptomundo on build wall reservations for Bigfoot. First and foremost, you got to make sure there's a Bigfoot there. So, building a wall around something, I wouldn't. I don't get it. I just don't personally. Um, that's like going out and I'm gonna build a cage in the water for Loch Ness. And as a matter of fact, I believe that there's still a certain type of dinosaur out here in the world. Uh, I've listened to Ken Ham, and the guy's just a brilliant, brilliant scientist, and he has a lot of proof to back that up, and it's pretty interesting. Don't need our protection. They're good on their own. They really are. They've existed this long, and they're still outpacing us as far as uh, we have drones, for crying out loud. I've got an app on my phone that probably runs some sort of thermal heat thing, sensor thing. And the thing is these things are still just disappearing into the forest. And I'm telling you right now, they do not need a wall. If there's anything, we need thicker walls on our cabins when we're up in the mountains. Make sure to give a thumb up. Thanks. Well, Sasquatch Eater didn't work in this story. What's the story with the X? Why do you think they do that? Personally speaking, resellers, and anybody else can chime in on that one. I think maybe it is some sort of like it's either a territorial thing or it's hey, I've been here. Um, Personally speaking, I believe that some actually habit a certain area. They inhabit a certain area, so habitual sites. I get that. But I don't believe all of them do. I believe that they move. I don't think that they move from here to San Juan Capistrano with the birds. I don't think they kind of they migrate like that. But I think that they can go from area to area. Like some from the Oregon coast might move further inland during the summer months, where it's pretty awesome over here, or maybe they'll move in here during the winter months because it's not so bitterly cold as it is on the coast. And I think that as they're moving and as they decide, okay, this is where I'm going to, basically relocate from now, I think maybe these are signs saying, hey, I'm here. This is mine. I think that's a possibility. A marker, yeah. Uh, see, what is meant by the X's term? Yeah, I'm with. Is it Shiva? Um, Basically, I'm with you. I mean, we don't really know. It's just kind of a guess, but it's a pretty good guess. Just if you kind of look at primate behavior, I think using primate behavior in our opinions of what and how Bigfoot behave, their behavioral patterns, I think that that's going to be the best way to sit there and make certain claims. So personally speaking, and natives, when being out in the woods, they would leave a set of stones. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's like me and the whole thing of creating backstories to all these encounters and stuff. Indians and Native Americans use storytelling. They infuse these really brilliant, colorful stories into something as simple as this particular experience in their lives. Well, guess what? We leave all kinds of markers in our lives to let people know of things. It could be a book we wrote. It could be something, whatever. I think these are just kind of markers or ways of letting other Bigfoot know that hey, I'm here. Uh, but I think you're right, David. Thank you, Johnny. I think so too. Um, Noel's Bigfoot savant theory. I don't really have any sort of idea about the savant stuff. Like I said, I come from more of a practical scientific background as far as my own personal beliefs are concerned, but those beliefs are usually built in facts. And I look at this thing as a primate. And a primate being some sort of crazy savant, I just don't see it. I don't. That's just a personal belief, man. So, you know, there you are. And if anybody ever offended by what I say here or anything like that, um, that's not my problem. This is not my problem. I think we all get too offended too quickly today. So there you go. I think some groups of Bigfoot are comfortable living in the proximity of human population centers. Here's the deal. While I believe that they are mostly an apex predator and can be and are very highly dangerous, like a cougar or a grizzly bear or a brown bear. I think that they do have. They're not quite savant, but I do think that they're more primate-ish in that they have. I think that their instinctual behavior and everything is more primate-ish. So I totally think that some here and there, kind of like when Jane Goodall kind of made her way into a family of gorillas and whatnot. Do I think that's completely possible with Bigfoot? I do. I do. I think that you could work your way in with bears. I think you could work your way in with lots of different kinds of creatures other than like a shark. A shark is just a mindless eating machine. It's just what it does. It just eats and swims. Um, it's just really an apex predator in the ocean. But these things seem to have more of a primate-ish feel to me. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think that you could coexist at least within a certain area. And I have, the encounter with the this is the first-hand one from the people over on the coast. They haven't heard it in a while, heard them or seen them at all or anything in a long time. So, um, but what they did notice before was that although it came close to the house, it usually stayed back from it. And so there was this kind of coexisting thing here where it really, I don't know if maybe they were sketchy about the people or whatever, but I think that maybe they just kind of like that live and let live kind of attitude that we have. They have this like, okay, they're non-threatening, but still we're skeptical, hang back. I think Bigfoot is flesh and blood, grown from the earth. Humans, on the other hand, haha. Yeah, I think that it's just a part of creation, just like us. Justin P. looked at a video of an interview with an Indian named John Two Feathers. So, we're all designed by aliens. Who designed the aliens? Um, is the cloaking theory credible? If the cloaking theory were credible, I think we would see that with other different species. I think personally. Here's the deal: a chameleon. A chameleon can change its colors. Can a Bigfoot change its colors? I don't think it can change its colors, but it's kind of like you just get used to your. Somebody asked me one time about the different races of human beings, and I said there is no different races. We're all one race. There's only one race. How your skin looks depends on geography and you being there for a long time. It's just something that happens. Okay? So I'm Irish, trust me, and I'm not a Casper the Friendly Ghost, but I'm as white as they come. But that's where my family is from. It's where my heritage is. And so the thing is that I just believe that personally, um, they're just stealthy, and the way that they are created, the way that they are, really helps them to blend into that environment, just like a chameleon, or just it's like gorillas. I mean, we've heard of people just walking past within feet of a giant, massive gorilla, and you don't even know. How is that possible? Because they're just good at blending in, and they're good at being still, and they're good at protecting themselves. So they know what to do in a situation. Why do Bigfoot go after children? I hate that idea. I hate that thought. But it's like anything else, easy prey. That's That's what I was like thinking. Chameleons. Yeah, so was I. Except for I don't think that their skin color changes. I think, or their hair color, all of a sudden goes. That would be more or less morphing from. I think it's just they just blend in really well. They know how to sit and they know how to hide really well. And I think that those things can be as still as a stick with no breeze going. So pretty much. Curious, do Americans not use curtains and blinds? Many Bigfoot looking in bedroom window stories. No, we have nothing to hide. Sorry. I hope you laugh at that one. I find the problem with Bigfoot is they seem to attract other creatures from whatever reason. They're not cool at all and have to leave the area because of it. I think they're kind of like the great white shark with a smarter just a smarter being about them on land. Go up and look at my question you missed. LOL. Which one? Let's see. D. Do you believe that Bigfoots have the ability to step into second dimension because invisible, but still be? No, I don't. I don't believe they step in and out of dimensions. This gets into some sort of esoteric kind of area that I hate to say it, Justin, I just personally don't believe that. I do believe in another dimension because I believe in a heaven and a hell. So I do believe that there is an eternal existence beyond this space and time. Um, Besides, before the universe was create, space, time, and matter have to exist at the same time. That's just a fact. We know this is a fact. It's not a theory anymore. It's just a fact. Everything, and I personally, I think, and I know this is going to kind of maybe make some people mad, and that's okay. I'm good with that. I think that people came up with that whole theory because we haven't caged one, because we haven't went out and killed one. And so we're trying to justify what we know to be true to people who don't believe it's true because we haven't literally drug one out of the woods. And so I think that sometimes we come up with these amazing tales of stuff because or these amazing feats that this thing can create because we're trying to make believers out of the doubters and the naysayers. And here's what I say to you who are trying to make believers out of the doubters and naysayers. It's not going to happen. Not until you pull one out of the woods for some people. It's just not going to happen unless they find prints, unless they hear a scream, unless they see a shadow, unless they see one in real life, or you get a second Patty film that just can't be explained away because now it's in 1040 HD, 1080 HD. It's just not going to happen. So what I would do is instead of trying to convince them of it, do your own research. Have some fun. Get out into the woods this year and summer, and just keep your windows up a little bit. Stay in your car. um, do you think God made these? I think God made everything, Jason. It's the only answer we have. It just makes sense. Like I said, space, time, and matter cannot come into existence. They can't exist in and of themselves by themselves. So, however it was created by something that was spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. Do you think energy cannot be destroyed, only change its form? We are energy. We are part energy. We are also physical. There's a lot of things about us, but energy, atoms. You ever notice how things come in three? Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Neutrons, protons, electrons, sea, land, and sea, land, and air. It's kind of an amazing how the Trinity seems to work out. I do believe these things are created. I don't think that they evolved from some other type of. I think that they are a Gigantopithecus that actually exists today. Personally, most people are not good at spotting animals in the woods. No, as a matter of fact, I can't tell you. I was walking the other day, and I'm going to tell you this, Mr. Super 101, and you guys need to hear this one because he's right. I live in town now. I moved off the mountain. We moved into town because of sports, little league, school, whatever. But I'm walking through town And all of a sudden, within like 10 feet of me, this deer just shoots out from this house on a street and freaks me out. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I'm walking up a street in the middle of town, and there's this deer right in front of me and freaked me out. I could not imagine what I've walked past in the woods. I don't even know right now. So, as a matter of fact, it would probably freak me out if I knew. Many rural Americans don't have neighbors, so they may not have curtains. Well, apparently they got some Bigfoot. Our soul, yes, our soul. Soul is our soul. It's our essence. It's who we are. The only way to make a believer out of someone is for them to have their own encounter, instant believer. It is. It's for them to experience something. It doesn't even have to be a visual. For me, I didn't see whatever it was. What I sensed tells me that it was big and it was bipedal. And then the footprints that we found 20 years earlier was bipedal. And it was huge. I mean, these things were like 16, 17 inches long and they were huge. We'll watch this later. Sorry, Dave. No, 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 no problem, Vicky. I'm just jumping on here. Wonder at time did God make them? Wonder sometimes why did God make them? I know they created them and have any question created. Well, you got to remember, and this is really kind of interesting, Cindy, that God created great white sharks too. And why did He create them? See, everything after creation, He said on the seventh day, He saw this all everything was good when He was done. Everything was good. It was the way it was meant to be. It was meant to be perfect. The Bigfoot was supposed to be the Bigfoot. And as a matter of fact, we find that if we look at some of the Tyrannosaurus Rex teeth that we have today, do you know what they were full of? Chlorophyll. Think about it. Chlorophyll. So here's the deal. For a very long time, things were good, and then all of a sudden, things got bad. And that's what happened. Okay, I mean, even if you look at the typical university out here, I don't care if it's Ivy League, I don't care if it's a state university. When it comes down to cultural anthropology, when it comes down to history, everybody starts in Genesis chapter 9 because that's about as far back as we can go. If we went any farther back, then you'd have to look at to Adam and Eve because that's the only other explanation we have. Because the thing is that evolution let us down. Because evolution is you're gonna have to show me some sort of transitional species because nobody else has ever, and they can't because you just can't do that. So, is this Bigfoot thing physical? Yes, it is. Is it some sort of primate? I believe it is. I believe it's actually a Gigantopithecus. I think it's just a species of Gigantopithecus that exists today. I do not believe it's Nephilim either. I believe that is completely separate. And if you actually dive in there and you get past what people who don't study the Bible say about Nephilim and the people that actually study the Bible and have dug through what Nephilim are, you'll find that these two things are two totally different things. Two totally different things. I believe these are animals. They are a Gigantopithecus that still exists today. Leftover giants from the biblical times. No, because the giants were still human beings. There were some giants in the land, and Goliath was one of them. How tall was Goliath? Apparently, approximately what we're finding today is that they actually have some new evidence about those giants, which gives you more proof to the Bible's interpretation of history. And we're finding out that they were anywhere between 9 and 10 feet tall. Now, that is comparable to Bigfoot, but then again, that's comparable to a Gigantopithecus. And you got to remember that David went to fight Goliath, who was a Philistine, and the Philistines were a human. They were human. Views on the elongated skulls being found. I don't really have a thought on that, other than we find elongated necks in Africa. That could be something that was, either made up or self-inflicted somehow. I don't know. I don't know about that. Body modifications, yeah, but modifications implies being modified, which means they did something to modify it. So Dr. Matthew Johnson has the reckons Bigfoot's healed him. I don't know how they. I don't know that one. What do you think about the BFRO? I like the BFRO. Um, there's a lot of people out here that kind of bag on them, and I know that my good friend William Jevning is not a huge fan of some of the TV show stuff, but and I watch Finding Bigfoot. I love it. I think it's fun. It's interesting. It's entertaining. As a matter of fact, that's why I created PacWest Bigfoot in the first place, is because I really like the whole Native American and the whole storytelling behind experiences. And I like to, go out there and help to put these backstories to this. I really enjoy it, and I like how they take this thing and they turn it into kind of half entertainment, half educational, and it just makes it just kind of fun. I think that people here, some people here inside of this whole subject matter in this phenomena, really take things to an extreme, and they go way too far. And they go so far that what makes it too far is that they start berating other people. I've seen it happen, and it's horrible to see. Listen, I'm not here, and I'm not going to ever be here. Okay, ever, ever will this be a research place, a place to. This is not a BFRO here. It never will be. I'm just not doing that. It's not what I wanted to create. It's not what I wanted to do. It is not what I wanted to happen here. What I wanted to do was create some really awesome uh, um, stuff for people, get some of these encounter stories and everything else out here, just because I love the subject matter. That was it. And I really like talking to people. That was it. I've had my own experience. I shared that. My mom had hers. Some friends of mine had theirs. I created these little backstories to them. And the next thing you know, it actually helped them to kind of process what happened better. And as far as I'm concerned, thank you so much, Brown Dwarf. $20 donate. Thank you. I work on donations here, so thank you so much, Brown Dwarf. That is just awesome, dude. You know what? Could you email me PacWest Bigfoot, PacWestBigfoot at gmail.com? I'll tell you this right now. It is it, for me here. I wanted this to be kind of like a 60-40 split. 40% educational with the encounters, and then 60% entertainment, fun, getting together and just talking and hashing things out and having fun, just having this awesome little community and just talking about this. That's all I wanted. Nothing more, nothing less. Anything else was kind of ridiculous. So that's why I would sit there and go, man, why would people complain about me going and on my videos? I don't care. I just don't care. This is like me and you sitting by a campfire and sharing some of these encounter stories, whether some are true and some are false, whether some of these people made them up and gave them to me. I don't care. I just don't. If that makes you upset, if that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not coming here anymore because I want the truth, good. Don't. Just don't care. Okay? I'm here because I really enjoy sharing out the stories and the encounters. I just do. So that's how that works. Yes, no trolls welcome here. I don't mind trolls. Trolls are fine with me. Trolls let me know that I'm doing what I love to do. And I think that we should all live with that kind of attitude. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing it right, trust me, you'll have no trolls around. None. There you go. Hooray, yeah. Bigfoot are not apes. Personally, I believe they're not apes in the fact that they're like some gorilla ape. I believe that they are more of, they are um, more or less the apes to a point. I believe. I mean, that's what everything kind of points to. So it's kind of like getting out here and collecting a bunch of information. It's like collecting Earth temperatures for the last 25 years, and you find out for the last 20 years that nothing's happened at all. And then you go around screaming, oh my gosh, the world's burning up. It's just not true. But if you take the evidence at hand, okay, what evidence you do have, you can come up with some sort of theory or opinion that kind of best suits the answer. It's kind of like whenever Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, which today is not a theory, it's just relativity. Space, time, and matter had to coexist at the same time, period. You can't have one without the other. And so Bigfoot, we started to see this connection between Gigantopithecus and primate behavior. And so when we see those things and we realize those things, then we can come to a conclusion that is this some sort of primate? Most likely. And that's probably going to be a better answer than this is some alien ship shifting and changing colors and turning into a pine cone when I come within 5 feet of it. Um, I don't buy that. It's much easier and to believe that because of what we see and what we understand, that these things are some sort of physical being and primate. Now, if you don't believe that, fine with me. I'm good with that. So, how many here have had an encounter? I've had, I guess, the experience encounter. I didn't see it, but you just know. You just know that it was because it was earlier, 20 years earlier, that I found footprints in that general area. Um, Sumerians and Anunnaki. Yes, I have, especially the Sumerians. I study biblical history, so I think Bigfoot are very intelligent. I do believe they're very intelligent. You'll find a lot of different species of animals out here extremely intelligent. Some are a little more intelligent than others, kind of like people. That was a joke. But it's true. I believe that they are just really highly intelligent. I think they're actually more intelligent than your typical chimpanzee or gorilla out here, and those are pretty intelligent animals. Dolphins are extremely intelligent. So are whales. Personally speaking, I think Bigfoot's even more intelligent. I think they are an ancient people that lived alongside humans until white men brought weapons from Europe. Well, you got to remember, Native Americans had weapons as well. So what made it any different? That's my question. What made the white people any more dangerous than the Native Americans who were doing the same thing that white people were doing in Europe to other tribes here in this country? They were going back and forth, raping and pillaging and taking over land and hunting grounds and enslaving other tribes, just as white man was doing, and every other culture in this country or in this world. So, personally speaking, I don't really, I don't, I don't know about that. Um, did they live in peace with them? I think that they lived in fear of them for the most part, because if you really think about it, you listen to the tribes and stuff around here in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm telling you right now, it is not that friendly of a coexistence at all. You don't call it Skookum Meadows for no reason. It's Skookum. Look the word up. The thing is that they learned how to coexist in a way of I'll stay out of your way, you stay out of mine. You're dangerous, I'm dangerous. Together, we'll kill each other. So when you start thinking about it that way, I think what it is that we have this whole political correct mindset today that oh my gosh, white people were bad, Native Americans were good, and no, Native Americans did just as bad and crazy stuff as any other any other group out here. We just don't talk about it a lot. Just the narrative is different. That's all. We just come from a different narrative. That's all. But the thing is that that's what happened. I mean, if you really think about it, 28% of slave owners in the South during the Civil War were black. As a matter of fact, three of the worst slave owners, with the most horrendous cases of abuse, were actually black slave owners. They were black themselves. Irish people were enslaved. Native Americans enslaved other Native Americans. So the thing is that I don't. That's why I don't buy that. I just don't. I think that they respected each other. It's kind of like me respecting a grizzly bear. So, that's just me. Have you heard Army catching Bigfoot in Iraq? No, I haven't heard anything like that. The tribes seem to have more of a just avoided attitude. They do. And I think that that attitude is based on a safety issue. It's just like, why do they always tell their children, hey, you go, you do this, and you get out here, you can be in trouble. It was, and sometimes it was used as a fear tactic to keep them safe. So well, as far as I'm concerned, that's you know, I don't think it was some sort of like, hey, let's all smoke a blunt together and hang out. I don't think so. I'm sorry. It's just what I believe. It's what the evidence points to, and I'll take that. And the red thing in here is my breakfast. So getting too fat working at home. Humans are food when there's no other resources, David. I think so too. I really do. I think that when things, it's kind of like brown bears and things like that. You get too close, it's dangerous. It's called danger close in the military. It's danger close. I think also that when an animal and a predator gets to that point where food is scarce, it will turn and eat anything. I think so. Giants in Afghanistan. Use Google. My cousin went through there. He's been on multiple tours through the mountains there, and they'd spend like a month at a time out in the dark hunting enemy. I'll have to ask him that, and I can ask him that. He did quite a few tours over there, so or a few more tours. So I'll ask him about that. That's not a problem. Um, I agree. I don't think it's like, oh, give me a hug, Bigfoot. No, I don't believe so either, Judith. I don't. I'm with you. I think that while the Native Americans had a healthy respect for creation itself and everything in it, it was not just a healthy respect for it, but it was also literally a safety kind of respect, a safe respect for it. So, and I think that that included Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Actually, we all have had an idea the monsters have lived in the woods. I think so too. I think that we all know that there's something out there. It's kind of like deep dark, down in the recesses of you. You know that there's something out there bigger than yourself. And I do think that we all know that deep down inside, I mean, it's a natural fear of walking out into the woods in the dark at night. Because what's out there? You may know there's bear, there's cougar, and there's raccoon. I'm probably going to be left alone. But deep down inside, there's the possibility of something bigger and badder and scarier. Sorry I'm late. No, no, no problem. I'll be actually done with these guys here, and we'll be done in about 15, 20 minutes here, because I've been on here for a while. So we've been on here for over an hour. So, no, I don't think Bigfoot are removed from the 411 cases as David had removed animal attacks and kidnappings. A Bigfoot attack probably would look like an animal attack or kidnapping. I believe so too. I believe it can be dragged off. Person can be dragged off. I think that these things are, like I said, extremely. They're just hard to detect in the woods. You could walk in 10 feet of them, 5 feet of them, and not even know. You got to remember what it's like, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, this is just basically a rainforest of pine trees and bush. It's dark here even in the summer. The woods are dark in the summer here, so I'm with you, Mr. Super. Seems to be Mount Shasta. I got some family down there. I love Mount Shasta area. I'd really like to go down there and poke around. There's this one group down there that's of the belief that they're like shape shifting aliens or something from planet Bigfoot. Uh, I'd still like to go hang out with them. Not to convince them, because you never can convince a doubter. You gotta wait until they figure it out on their own. Yeah, I don't mind skeptics though. Skeptics, I think skepticism is good. Skepticism is always a good thing because You just got to understand: are you really a skeptic, or are you really just a doubter? Are you really just somebody who just doesn't believe? You're just a non-believer. Big difference between a skeptic and a non-believer. A lot of people say they're skeptics, but most of them are non-believers. I did find a massive pile of scat. Ooh, that would be awesome, man. You got a picture of that? I know it sounds funny to ask people for a picture of their poop, but that one would actually be kind of awesome. It would. If you got a picture of it, man, send it on over. PacWest Bigfoot, gmail.com. I'd love to put that up on the Facebook page. I find that on the web every day. uh, Lemurians, Dave. Yes, Lemurians. I wonder if Bigfoots have those who are rogue and don't follow their species mandates for life, and then there are benevolent ones who care about us. Like I said, Carol, people can believe that. That's fine with me. Personally, I don't. I think it takes a different type of soul to be benevolent. Benevolence is something different from, say, that's really getting into like psychology of things, especially something that right now we have footprints, screams, and sightings from people time to time. So the benevolence behind this thing, I don't think we really even know. Do we have rogue Bigfoot? I think they're all pretty darn rogue. They they're wild animals, creatures out here, and um, I think some are probably more touchy than others. You see some in the gorilla, kingdom that, some are just real buttheads, and other ones are just a little bit more relaxed or a little more skittish. I think you find that all the time. Oh, no, no, no. Never be sorry here, Carol. Ever. Ever. We don't do sorry here because we aren't here to discuss whether people are right or wrong about things or whatever. I'm just saying this is what I believe. I don't even care. You know what? Here's the deal. I don't even. The encounter stories here at PacWestBigfoot.com, guys, I will never ever go through, like I said before, and Carol, just so you know, I will never go through and try to figure out if it's true or not. It's not what I do here. I just enjoy having these things out here because it's just fun and interesting and cool. I like it. But as far as I'm concerned, I think they're wild animals, so they're all pretty rogue. Do they have some sort of like you know social you know behavior between them? Well, yeah. I mean, pretty much every species on the planet does, from humans to sharks to everything. Everything has some sort of social. Great white sharks have a social behavior amongst them. We've come to realize. So I believe they do. So, but some sort of benevolence, not really sure about that. That gets into a little bit of psychology that I'm just unsure about. You think Bigfoot give off low frequency sounds? Yes, I do. I think kind of like a lion. I live here in Roseburg now. We have wildlife safari, and if you've heard these lions even growl, I mean, it's pretty powerful when you're just standing there and they're like 75 feet away or more. You can feel it, and I think that Bigfoot, same thing goes. Just because there's just massive, probably a huge set of lungs. So, uh, let's see. Skeptics are generally cynics. That's what I'm saying, Pete. I basically believe that most skeptics who say they're skeptics are really unbelievers. They're sheep. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. They're like a politician saying, "I'm not a politician." Pretty much. Thank you. That's why I enjoy your site. Oh, thank you, Carol. That is awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Got to go. Work calls. Hey, you know what, guys? Work calls for me too. I got a website I got to build out today. For a couple of you guys out there who wanted those websites and stuff like that, if you guys want your own kind of research websites and blogs and kind of a web presence setup, you guys let me know. I've never really offered it before because I don't really like offering too many things through here. But that's what I do for a living. I actually help people set up their websites and blogs for whatever they're interested in, their little niche websites and whatnot. So if you guys want to, and I'll let you know right off the bat, I set these things up for $500. That's what it costs for an average website and stuff. So if you want one, let me know. You can email me at pacwestbigfoot at gmail.com. Um, they're always fun, always interesting, and it's a great place to really store all of your evidence and information and your thoughts and your ideas about your research and everything. So it's good stuff, good stuff. And if you want to monetize it at any point, you guys can. You can do that too. It's always a good thing. So good stuff. So let me know if you want those. Awesome. Anytime. Like I said, guys, but for the most part here, I run on just the AdSense stuff here, the YouTube advertising. So if you could sit through those little videos there while they're before the videos play, that's awesome. And donations. Take donations. And thank you so very much for that, Brown Dwarf. That was awesome, dude. That was just so cool. As a matter of fact, for you, buddy, I don't know if you have it yet, but I'll send you this. Iceman. It's a book signed by William Jepney. Boom. There you go, buddy. So, with that, I want to say thank you guys very much. God bless. This thing will probably render at some point, and so with that, God bless you guys. Thank you very much for being here, and I am off to work. All right.